Welcome to Exec Class Up. My name is Lazi Ferre. I'm here to tutor you on the use of English. And our topic this hour is titled Comprehension. What do we mean by comprehension? Comprehension is
Don't forget to subscribe to Excel Class Hub YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our educational videos. Let's continue the video lesson.
Of a candidate to understand a particular passage. That is what comprehension is all about. Ability to understand a particular passage. And what do we talk about when we talk about this comprehension? There are components of comprehension. Components of comprehension are as follows. Components of comprehension are as follows. Number one, we have ability to understand the passage itself. Number two, we have ability to understand figures of speech. Number three, we have ability to understand grammatical structure. And number four, we have ability to understand word replacement. And finally, number five, which is especially for the JAM student, is ability to give a title to a passage. Ability to give a title to a passage. So these are the components you are expected to see in your comprehension. And this hour, we are going to be looking at one of them. We are going to be looking at ability to understand grammatical structure. Ability to understand grammatical structure. This grammatical structure is classified into two. We have the grammatical name, and number two, we have the grammatical structure. Grammatical name and the grammatical function, rather. We have grammatical name and grammatical function. Under the grammatical name, we have three categories. Under the grammatical name, we have three categories. Number one is your phrase. Number two is your clause. And number three is your parts of speech. Now, under this phrase, for better understanding, it does not contain a verb. It does not contain a verb. While the clause, it contains a verb. It contains a verb. And finally, when we talk about the part of speech you're expected to see in your exam, we talk about your noun, we talk about your adjectiva, and we talk about your adverbia. So these three are what you are going to be looking at under the grammatical structure. Don't forget, I said the grammatical name is classified into three. We have phrase, we have clause, and we have part of speech. This phrase does not contain a verb. The clause contains a verb, and the part of speech you are expected to know in this topic are your noun, your adjectiva, and your adverbia. Now, from there, we start picking them one by one. And we are looking at the first one, which is our noun phrase / our clause. Noun phrase / clause. Don't forget, I've told you what a phrase connotes, what a clause connotes. Now we are relating it to a noun phrase and a noun clause. And we are told that the grammatical structure is classified into two: grammatical name and grammatical function. Now, when we are done with the noun phrase and the noun clause, then we'll know the grammatical function of a noun phrase and a noun clause. Now, under this noun, there are pointers that we are expected to know. There are pointers. The first pointer is number one. It occurs in the subject position. It occurs in the subject position. Number two, it occurs also in the object position. Number three, it can start with an article. It can start with an article. So whenever you see a question that starts with subject or object and starts with an article, or peradventure with, it can also start with a pronoun or noun. Whenever you see such words, you should know that they are going to be classified as a noun. Take, for instance, look at this question. Example 1. Look at this question, example 1. This is the man. Full stop. This is the man. And they underline the word the man. And we are asked to classify the grammatical name and the grammatical word function. Now, we are focusing first and foremost on the grammatical name. Now, the first thing they underline here is article D. And I said that whenever article D is underlined, just know that it is a noun. So this question now is a noun. Now, we want to know if it's going to be a phrase or a clause. What makes it a phrase? No verb. What makes it a clause? There is verb. Now, after the D, what do we have next? Is a man. And a man is a noun. Since it's a noun, it is not a verb. Automatically, this statement is a what? A noun phrase. It is a noun phrase. Now, let's talk about the noun function. Let's talk about the noun function. The noun function. The noun function is classified into four. We have subject of the verb. We have subject of the verb. Number two, we have subject of the sentence. Number three, we have object of the verb. And number four, we have object of the sentence. How do you differentiate all this in an exam? Take note. When you see subject of the verb, it occurs from the beginning of the statement. When you hear subject of the sentence, it also begins from the beginning of a statement. But when you hear the object of the verb and the object of the statement, they begin at the end of the statement. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So these are the things that you are expected to what? To see. Are you getting it? Now, take for instance, let's go back to the question we are solving. We said, this is the man. And we have been told that what? We have been told that. Now, let's go back to the question that we have been given. The question says, this is the man. And they underline the word the man. They said we should identify the grammatical name and the grammatical function. We have been able to identify the grammatical name, that the answer is a noun phrase. Now, we want to check the grammatical function. We want to check the what? Grammatical function. Now, this the noun, is it in the subject position or in the object position? The man is in the object position. At the end of the statement, object position. Now, before the day, what do we have? We have what? Is. And this is an auxiliary verb. For the fact that we have an is here, then automatically our grammatical function becomes object of the verb. And what is the object of the verb? is, you put your inverted what? Comma. So in this question now, the underlined word is in the object what? Position. Let's take another question to expatiate on this noun function. Now, example 2. Example 2. They said this, a candidate in an examination hall is like a boxer in the ring. Full stop. Now they underline a candidate in an examination hall. They underline a candidate in an examination hall. Then we have our word GN and we have our GF. They say what is the grammatical name and what is the grammatical function. How do you identify if it's a noun? It's starting with what? Article A. Article A, and check our pointers that was given to us, that whenever we have an article being underlined first, automatically is going to be a noun. So our answer here is noun. The next thing we want to know is this: is it a noun phrase or a noun clause? Is it a noun phrase or a noun clause? Now, this is it. The statement is starting from the beginning of the statement. We have A as our article. We have candidate as our noun. We have in as preposition. We have an as an article. We have examination. Anything that ends with "shon" is a noun. But whatsoever you bring out from examination becomes what? A verb. So this is what? A noun. Then all is a place, which also connotes what? Noun. So in this statement, we don't have anything like what? Verb. So this statement is a noun what? A noun phrase. This is a noun phrase. Then the next question is this: what is the grammatical function? The grammatical function, how do you know that? They underline from the beginning. For the fact that they underline from the beginning, it connotes subject. Now, after the underlined word, what do we have there? Is. After the underlined word, we have what? Is. And what part of speech is is? Is also what? A verb. Since it's a verb, then you write subject. Subject of the verb is, inverted comma. The first question we solved, we said object of the verb is. And here we are saying subject of the verb is. How do you identify which is subject and which is what? Object. I said when you underline from the object side, you go with the object. When you underline from the subject side, you go with the word? Subject. So, peradventure, if they cancel the word hall and they said a candidate in an examination, we are not giving all. We are only giving a candidate in an examination. And they underline only examination. Now, the word after examination is your word, is all. And that all, what part of speech is all? The part of speech of all is a noun. For the fact that is a noun, the answer will change. It becomes subject of the sentence. Subject of the sentence. So if a verb occurs after the underlined word, you call it subject of the verb. If a noun occurs after the underlined word, you call it subject of the sentence. Now, we have seen what a noun phrase and a noun clause is all about. Now, the next one we want to look into now is our adverbia. We call it what? Adverbia. Adverbial phrase / clause. Adverbial phrase / clause. We are told that an adverb is a word used to modify a verb. An adverb modifies. And in this topic, we are not focusing on the definition. We are looking at the types of adverbs that we have related to phrase and clause. So we are looking at types of adverbs. We have the first one, which is adverb of time. adverb of time. Every of the types of adverb has a pointer. For you to know the pointer of adverb of time, it starts with when. It starts with as soon as. For you to know the adverb of place, it starts with what we call where. For you to know the adverb of condition, it starts with if. For you to know adverb of reason, it starts with because. For you to know adverb of manner, it starts with as if or like. For you to know adverb of concession, it starts with though or although. Full stop. Now, these are the types of adverbs that we have. We have adverb of time with its pointer. We have adverb of place with its pointer. We have adverb of condition with its pointer. Adverb of reason, adverb of manner, and adverb of concession. How can question be set in this angle? Now, look up. Example 1. Example 1. I slapped her because she was rude. I slapped her because she was rude. And the underline because she was rude. And they said, what is the grammatical name? What is the grammatical function? Are you with me? They said, what is the grammatical name? What is the grammatical function? The first thing you identify is where did they underline? And what they underline here starts from because. I slapped her because she was rude. Don't forget, the job of an adverb is to modify a verb. Because she was rude, what happened? Slapped. Slapped is the verb. Because she was rude, what was done to her? Slapped. So, because she was rude, then you look at it because. What pointer is because? Because is a pointer of what? Adverb of reason. So, from here, you write adverbial. Now, you need to identify, is it a phrase? Is it a clause? That is the only area you need to focus on. If it's a phrase, no verb. If it's a clause, there is verb. Now, we have because. We all know that because is an adverb. After because, you have your she. She is a pronoun. And after she, you have your what? Was. Was is an auxiliary verb. And for the fact that you have a verb in this statement, automatically the answer becomes what? Adverbial clause. But the question is this: what type of adverbial is this? We have it to be what? Adverbial clause of reason. What makes it adverbial clause of reason? Because of the underlined word because. Take note. Now, what is the grammatical function? I have told you that a grammatical function of an adverb modifies a verb. Because she was rude, what was done to her? Slapped. So here, the grammatical function becomes it modifies the verb slapped. It modifies the verb slapped. So what gave us the answer of this adverbial clause of reason was because we have because she was rude. And the first word being underlined there was because. Look at this example 2. If you read, you will pass. That's question 2. We are asked to find the grammatical name and the grammatical function. If you read, you will pass. And the underline if you read. They now ask the question, what is the grammatical name and what is the grammatical function? What was the first thing that they underlined there? If. And that if is an adverb. Adverb of what? Adverb of condition. So, after if, we have your word, you. You is a pronoun. And after you, we have read. Read is a verb. If you read, what will happen? We pass. So since read is a verb, automatically the answer to this question is adverbial clause of condition. Adverbial clause of what? Condition. Why? Because of the first word that was underlined, which is if. If you read, you will pass. And they said the first word underlined was if, and that shows a condition. And the verb in the underlined word is read. Automatically, the answer changed to your what? Clause. So, adverbial clause of condition. Now, the next question is, what is the grammatical name? If you read, what will happen? We pass. So, in this context, it modifies the verb will pass. It modifies the verb will pass. So these are questions that you are expected to see under adverbial phrase and adverbial clause. And the last one we are looking at is adjectival phrase slash adjectival noun, adjectival clause. Adjectival phrase slash adjectival clause. That's the third one. Adjectival phrase slash adjectival clause. Don't forget, we said the part of speech you are expected to know under comprehension are three. We said we have noun, we have adverb, and we have adjectival. We have looked into noun, we have considered adverbial, and the last one we are looking at is adjectival. This is also classified as phrase and clause. And we all know that an adjective is used to qualify a noun. An adjective is used to qualify a noun. Please take note, we said adverb modifies, but adjective qualifies. Now, every question on this always have their own word, pointers. How do you identify the pointer of an adjectival? The first one is you are expected to see your who, you are expected to see your whom, and finally you are expected to see your what? Your whose. These three are very, very important. When you see who, whose, and whom, just know that the question is coming from the angle of adjectival. Take a question. They said, this is the man who killed the snake. This is the man who killed the snake. They underlined who killed the snake. They said, what is the grammatical name and what is the grammatical function? This is the man who killed the snake. Now, if you look at this question, the underlined word is starting from who. The underlined word is starting from what? Who. And that is what we mean by pointer. If you are not able to identify the pointer to a question, then it is possible you pick a wrong answer. So here we have who, and it's a pointer to adjectival. Now, we have known that this is an adjectival. This is an adjectival. The next question I want to know is this. Is it a phrase or a clause? We want to know now. We have who. After who, we have killed. We all know that killing is an action or kill is an action. And for the fact that it's an action, it connotes a verb. So the answer to this question is adjectival clause. And we are told, what is the grammatical function? The grammatical function is that it modifies a verb. Now, go back to the question. This is the man who killed the snake. They ask, who killed the snake? The answer becomes what? The man. So, it modifies the verb. It modifies the noun man. It modifies the noun man. Take note of that. Because the job of an adjectiver is to modify a noun. Now, let's see some questions to portray our point. Now, look at these questions. If you are conversant with your past question, you will be able to see some of these questions. Number one, they say what? The reader's frame of mind. The reader's frame of mind is to see a better tomorrow. Number two, in the first one, you have to get the GN and the GF. Number two, I will see her when I decided to visit her. Number three, this is the woman whom I told you of. Now, in these three questions, we are asked to identify the GN and the GF. The first question says, and the underlined here, the reader's frame of mind. The second question, when I decided to visit her. And the third question, whom I told you of. Then you are asked to identify the grammatical name and the grammatical function. I will stay together. Now, check the first one, starting with D, is a pointer. Check the second one, starting with what? When, is a pointer. Check the third one, starting with what? Whom, is a what? Pointer. Always identify the pointer given to you. With your pointers, you can be able to get the correct answer. So here now, the pointer here is a pointer of article. An article is centered on a noun. So automatically, here is a noun. You want to know if it's going to be a noun clause or a noun phrase. Then we say the reader's frame of mind. D is an article. A reader is a person, which connotes a noun. A frame is a thing, which connotes a noun. Of is a preposition. And mind is a being. So automatically, everything written here is classified as a noun. There is no verb in it. Since there is no verb in it, our answer becomes a noun phrase. A noun phrase because there is no verb. Now, after the underlined word, what do we have here? We have our is. And the word they underline is starting from the beginning of the statement. And when it's starting from the beginning of the statement, it is identified as the subject. So here, the answer becomes subject of the verb. Subject of the verb is in your inverted what? Comma. So you go to the second question. Second question says, I will see her when I decided to visit. Now, they now decided to underline when I decided to visit what? Look at the word being underlined. They underline when. That when being underlined there is a pointer. And what pointer is that? Is a pointer to adverbia. And under adverbia, we said we have types. And that adverbia here is an adverb of what? Time. So, but we need to know, is it a clause? Is it a phrase? How do you know if it's a clause? Now, after when, we have I, and I is a pronoun, not a verb. Then decided, decision is under a verb. Is under a verb. Visit is still under what? A verb. So for the fact that we have a verb in the underlined word, automatically our answer is going to be a clause. So here we have adverbia clause of what do you call when? Time. Adverbia clause of time. Now we move to the second one, which is the grammatical function. The grammatical function, other adverbial, we said it modifies. Now, when I decide to see her, what will I do with see? Now, here it modifies the verb will see, inverted what? Comma. And the last question here says what? This is the woman whom I told you of. Whom I told you of is talking about the word, the woman. But what is the underlined word there? The underlined word there is what? Whom. The underlined word here is what? Whom. So the what pointer is whom? Whom is a pointer to adjectival. And for the fact that it's an adjectival, you need to know if it's going to be a clause or a phrase. Now, we have told in the question, and since we have told in the question, it connotes what? A verb. And the answer is what? Adjectival clause. And we are told that it qualifies. Whom I told you of. Who is it telling us about? The woman. It qualifies a noun, and what is that noun? Woman. So with this, I want to believe you can be able to solve questions that are related to what? Comprehension under ability to understand grammatical structure. Don't forget, grammatical structure is classified into two: grammatical name and grammatical function. Thank you.